Okay. Jamie, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I have 6:33. Let's call our meeting to order. We'll do the invocation and the pledge before we move on in the meeting. Does anybody especially want to pray over us tonight?
So I gave it to you.
Okay. Lord, be with us in this time. Help us make great decisions about the expansion of our city hall and about projects that are going to impact people in our area in the future. Help us make long-term plans. Guide us to decisions that would best set us up to be prepared to grow. Especially please be with our friends and family members who are facing this holiday minus a loved one. It's been a long year. We're looking forward to the next year that comes. And we would love it if you hold those people close to your heart. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Sorry, sit down. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is public comments. Ms. Janie, do we have any public comments today?
Mr. Dan McJunkin would like to address the council.
Great.
Thank you, Council. The one reason I wanted to speak tonight was to bring you in some information. Number one, since about 2017, I've been a commissioner on the ESD4, that's the Fire District Board, called Emergency Services District. So I'm one of the commissioners that was responsible for our station up here right up the road, and we won a design award. It's not been announced. We just received that information tonight. A gold is a national award, so I want to brag on us a little bit. A lot of growth in the area. But the reason I'm speaking tonight is because of the garage bay that says fire station and the benefit to the community that that represents. In the past, now I am not the PIO for our ESD, but I'm speaking for me and just giving you some information. And speaking with our chief in the past, I said, is it conceivable that we could bring that fire truck up to our station? He said, no, and the reason was something I really already knew, but he reminded me of, is that by having the tanker in the garage bay here, it lowers something called our ISO rating, which is the lower it is, the better it is. This is the rating that insurance companies use for the fire component of your insurance. So by keeping the truck here, it actually lowers our insurance, even though we don't have water distribution in Simonton. So I just wanted everybody to know that I know it's not on the agenda to consider removing that, but I really wanted you just to recognize why it's there and how it benefits Simonton. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Item 4 is our workshop. So we are receiving an update on the ARPA project. The expansion of City Hall. Are these this week's blueprint? Or these are the ones that you just brought?
Those are the architects, yeah, the big one.
So
There's also a
today,
small one right there.
probably the color copy that you just got contains updated information from our last meeting. This one actually has the architect's blueprints that they're proposing with all the things we've asked for. And the goal for this workshop is to decide, here's how much money we have, here's what these things will cost, what phases or what's our action going to be going forward. So I'll turn it over.
Do you have a Wi-Fi password?
Dear. Hold please. So what you'll see on the plans includes expanding City Hall, expanding the chambers that way as an option. The seating for council would move to this wall, and then it's bigger going that way for more people, so less folks have to stand out in the hall when we have big items going on. Up to 2 bays. We talked originally about 1, and realizing we have the room, why not look now and see what 2 bays would look like? It would mirror this side, give us plenty of room for storing our emergency equipment. Potentially that would mean that we don't have to store things at the ESD, where we were asking a favor. They've made an offer, but if we could store our things all together, that's always better for deployment. And there's a mix in there. We can decide to do smaller and just do the single bay. We could decide we're not going to expand chambers now. We could do that later. So those are the sorts of things we're going to talk about. Okay.
Don't want to present for some reason. Here we go. There it goes. All right. So first option, I think this is the existing, right? There's both sides. So existing layout totals 1,300 square feet. You'll know what the council looks like. So then here is the first option, which is the largest option. And this one would include, like you talked about, the double bays plus an expansion here in the chamber. Of course, for us, just the slab, you don't actually have to do both, but it would allow for the room for both. So here's a mock-up of what the architects have put together for what it would look like for the expanded one. This is what it would be on the inside. I think it's I forget how many feet they expanded council, and then this, of course, is the 2.
We said it was 9 feet yesterday when we were looking at it.
It's 12 feet.
12, okay, 12. And then, of course, this garage matches the existing garage that they'll have now, the proposed one. And so for that, the total footprint would be 4,830 square feet, 840 square feet of council chambers, which I think Craig put 276 added. And then that would be office space, storage space, and then garage, of course, is now 1,300 square foot storage plus the 2 bays. And of course, we're also still including that full bath in the existing garage area in the corner over here. Again, Craig and I would like to mention, we asked for costs from contractors, but we have not actually gotten them back. So this is like things we used before. So this is very preliminary budget costs that we, at the moment, costs are kind of all over the place. We have some that are ridiculously high, we have some that are ridiculously low. So again, this is our best guess, as we would like to say.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Does this have contingency?
Yes,
Like
we have some contingencies.
some number in there
Yeah,
already?
10 or 15%.
Awesome.
So this is the first one where you would do everything. Essentially on your wish list, I guess.
Yeah. Do y'all have questions about what the things are? I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at this in advance, but so like in the bottom right-hand corner, there is that bathroom. I think I've mentioned to y'all that's already out in the garage on this side. It is unusable. It has a tiny little sink and a toilet. That's it. And their proposal is to turn it sideways and make a complete working bathroom out of that, which is great for emergency operations, fire crew, when we're here running an emergency, that sort of thing.
There would still leave plenty of room for the tanker.
Leave enough room for the tanker? Yes. We also then would have the option to flip and put the pumps over on that side if we need to, and let the tanker have the side closest to the door because they're the same size.
Yeah,
the
they
bays,
plan on-
the bays are the same.
Yeah, we plan on putting the pumps and then the trailer on this new side.
And if the ESD wanted more clearance or something we could want, we could always flip that too and put the tanker on this end if we decide that it's a better fit, because the bays are all exactly the same dimension. Correct me if I'm speaking out of school too. So then over on this side, the walk-through door is actually in the hall right here, where by the bathrooms, the proposed walk-through door. So you just continue right into the new garage area right there. No change to the restrooms on this side or the entry or anything else that's existing except that bathroom over there. Okay. For reference, I'll just remind everybody that our award from ARPA was $219,475.68. On our quarterly report that we just reviewed at our last meeting, we have $235,762.48 because of interest that we've earned while it's been in that new first account.
So,
Go ahead.
no,
Is
I was
there
saying nobody has questions.
Is there a proposed time when we're going to do this? Are we looking at 6 months from now?
Well, our timetable is to be ready, and there's lots of documents that have to happen between now and then, but to try and be ready to go out to bid at the beginning of January. I want to say that's probably going to be a 30-day process in total. You go out for bid, bids come back, you do the award, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think we usually do 6 weeks to, or, yeah. for
6
bid.
weeks to execute the entire thing
So, yeah.
for bid.
Yeah, because we have
So-
to advertise and then, or solicit people, yeah, we'll have to advertise and how much the cost is,
Right.
and that has to go in.
So, you're the expert, I should let you say that. My thought is spring could be, if we're through with that by mid-February, could we be working in March? I don't know if that's pushing it too close, it's not my usual thing, but
So if we go out for bids and then get bids back by February, yeah, usually NTPs are, 60 days because we have to get the contracts up. They have to get their bonds, insurance, bids, all that kind of stuff. And then once all of that's signed and ready, they actually have to be ready themselves. So I would say
In April, early May.
April, May.
April, May.
Does that answer what you were actually asking?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So the next proposal for us is basically still the expanded slab, but instead of including changing the council chambers, we would essentially make it all garage at the moment to save money. For future use, y'all could expand council, but for now, we would at least have the garage with the double bays so that you have all the storage that you need. And then later on, council chambers could be expanded to the ideal amount that y'all would like.
So basically, this wall wouldn't move, but the slab would.
Correct. Yes. We would extend it the full amount, which I think is close to 40 feet outward.
9.9, yeah.
Yeah. And basically, we would leave it as a garage for now, and then you could add the council chambers later.
Okay.
And then the next one, I think, is the original expansion by the architects. It is the 22-foot expansion, essentially, which is a single bay. And then also, I think that's 6 foot of extra room in here. I think is what it goes to from the existing.
Yeah, so 6 feet for chambers and 1 bay.
Somewhere around there. Yes, this is 1 bay. So this is the original. And I think in every single proposal, we left the bathroom, just FYI, so that's always included in there. It's just
Great.
how much expansion basically you want on the side of the building.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
of course, this one could also be phased again, where the entire expansion turns into a garage, and then you add council chambers later. And that, of course, is the lowest price.
Awesome.
Are the costs, are on the estimates, is that for the construction or is that all inclusive? Is that engineering?
That's for the construction only.
Okay. And what's the rough percentage of all the other design and everything?
Usually it's around 10%. I think we already have everything signed with the mayor though on what our fees are. I would have to go back and actually look at that proposal, because that is already a fixed cost for y'all.
It's a fixed cost, okay.
Yeah, we did that a few months ago, and I'm not gonna quote that off the top of my head. I'll go back and pull it out of.
Yeah, I've only
our
looked at it
detail,
once
but
or
we did-
twice.
Yeah, engineering and design all were included.
Yeah, engineering, design, survey, testing, and the construction inspection as well.
All of that was included in that.
It's already in the
Okay.
proposal, correct.
So we had A&E of roughly 10%. And that includes project management costs of running that project for y'all?
So project management would be actually with the contractor, so it would be included in
Okay.
the construction costs. I mean, we have an inspector that will come out, and like I'm sure the architects have the same thing,
Right.
but the actual project management will be by whatever contractor wins the award.
What other questions do you all have?
I don't know if I followed all that. Is the total cost between 120 and 180, or is that just the construction?
Just the
You're
construction.
saying
And
construction.
we don't know what the total is.
We approved the total in a previous contract during a council meeting.
Yeah.
I do not want to say what that number is because I am terrible at that.
Yeah.
We can go pull that,
It was based
actually,
on
and
the
tell us
grant.
what that
It was
is.
that 219-ish number, something along
Well,
those
no, it
lines.
was like
total?
$24,000 and we managed to
Oh, on the
negotiate
contract.
just on the architect, design, the engineering. There are so many requirements because it's a federal grant.
Like 21, 22 comes to mind.
Mhm.
I'm
In that
remembering
ballpark.
correct- Yeah, somewhere around there.
So that's
So we're spending pretty close to the
would be
grant.
pretty close to the grant.
Okay.
I mean, even if you went with the highest one, you're still under $200,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's, I like that one.
And so that still gives you, still have $35,000 left for any overages or whatever may happen.
I'd just be curious as to what it would, if you know what the, have any idea what the cost would be if we if you went ahead and finished that instead of not, or is there a reason why
I think
we're
that
not?
that's what this one
180.
This
is.
is the first one is,
The
yeah.
180 is
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, the all-in is the very first
I
option.
agree,
Yeah.
because it's gonna cost you a lot more for them to come in and finish that after the fact.
I agree with you. That's
So if we
what
say,
I'm
let's,
saying.
for round numbers, let's say 25,000 for the engineering, all of
Okay.
the fixed costs.
Yeah,
You're at about 205, rough estimate.
So-
We all know it's rough estimate,
so if we.
to do it all.
If we do it all,
We're still under.
We're still under budget.
Yeah.
Which, you know, by the time we get to the end of the project, we might have $3.
That's
Great, that's perfect. If we had money that was unused, certainly we'll come back to council and discuss what we would want to do with that. That falls within the allowable expenses for ARPA. But in some of our preliminary discussions, we've talked about technology for this room. Whether that's gives us the ability to, not to put Mr. McJunkin out of a job, but to be able to have meetings that are, you can cast them, you can record them, if it's speaker systems, you know, what might be needed if the room is bigger so that everyone can hear, that technology would be probably a good place for us to talk about that. We don't have to make that decision today, but once we know what those costs are really looking like, we don't want to wait too long so that it could be done while the room is under construction. Cabling or, you know, whatever.
Rewiring.
The technology in the new emergency operations in Richmond, because I've been there for the last 2 days, is amazing. There's built-in cameras where they can track and they can cast real time. You can see from wherever you're seated because there's multiple. It's very easy for meetings and everybody to see, and you don't have people looking around. It's cool. It's pretty nice.
By the way, the TV screen was $250,000.
I bet we can't afford that, but.
No, don't do that. But in an emergency, when we're managing,
Over here?
Yeah.
This one? Okay. I haven't seen this one, the one in Richmond, downtown.
oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were referring to.
No, this one's still, I haven't made a chance over there. I want to see this
We
one.
can schedule a tour for you.
I'll go. That's,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay, so,
Well, it makes more sense to, you know, if we've got the money, to just go for the larger project, because otherwise, years down the road, you're gonna come in, you're gonna tear it, everything's gonna cost more. If we've got the money to do it now, it just makes more sense to do it now, the complete thing.
if we don't use it all, how much, what can we use it for and what can we not? What part would go back?
and every dollar that's unspent from the grant goes back if it's not used for an ARPA approved use.
So what's
And-
approved
which
by
is-
ARPA is what the question is.
The clarity about that is not terribly clear, to be quite honest. We know that technology for emergency response would be doing this addition because it would affect emergency response, inundation and things like that. So
Restrooms for emergency.
restrooms for
All
emergency,
that would be covered.
the things that we're proposing here. There's also been some ability to use some money for like charging stations for electric vehicles. We explored that option. We don't qualify for it because our population, and we don't have enough documentation of traffic flowing through at this point. We can say we explored it. I don't know that we want to be a charging station at this stage since our parking lot size, but so things like that that are pretty specific.
But we're sure we can come in right under that amount, that we wouldn't go over it, right?
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah, okay.
And
what happens?
once we have the bids, we'll know. Right, so if we do go over, that'll be up to council to fund the balance out of
Okay.
wherever we're going to fund that from in our money. And certainly, we wouldn't do that intentionally, and if there are overruns, we'll know about it as the project goes along, so that we can discuss and
I
decide
mean,
what's
the
happening.
note here even states that the cost is a high-level estimate, so I say go for the big one. It's gonna cost us more to retro later, so,
But a lot of always cost more.
yep.
Okay, sounds like we are in agreement. I don't think we need, remind me, we don't need an actual vote until we receive our bid package. We just need agreement to go to bid,
Probably that might be acceptable.
and that we are,
Be a motion or is it just an agreement?
Yeah, but it couldn't hurt. Just a consensus, it should be.
consensus, thank you, that was the word I was trying to pull out of thin air.
I have a random question. Sure. The property line doesn't follow the fence line.
No.
With the proposed alternative A, which is obviously one we would want to look at, the placement of the building is kind of at an angle, even though you can't technically see that when you're looking at City Hall. With the expansion of the slab, are we not encompassing the easement at the beginning of the property from the road? if they expand 1093, if you're looking at the way this line goes, you got your property line running here, you got your side building running here, when it goes out, that has to be at least 10 feet.
It's set back far enough that since the property is at an angle, that it does not encroach on the easement.
Okay.
And it would,
'Cause
the
it-
building,
By number's sake, it looks like it does, that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
because the fence kind of makes a funky little,
yeah, that
rectangle right there?
sawtooth, because we were trying to share the trees with our neighbor,
Ah, I
apparently,
see.
when that fence was put up. a
I
long
see.
time ago. So the fence line, the property line actually is on the inside of that sawtooth looking
Yeah, I
set
gotcha.
that's out there. And I don't know that we mentioned it, but the proposed building is the same width as the current parking lot.
So no, we're expanding it past that. So that was one of the
Yeah,
things we were gonna
that's-
point out. We are expanding it past the asphalt, and we were gonna talk about how you wanted to address that as far as them being able to pull into those bays. Do you just
How
wanna?
many feet is it
Yeah,
that's wider?
I wanna
It appears to
say
be,
6 feet,
yeah.
because originally it was 33 when we expanded it to the edge, and now it's 39, so six-ish feet.
Is that something we would want to
So we were
maybe
gonna,
talk to the ESD and get their opinion about that?
because we were gonna ask if you wanted to actually expand the entire concrete, like asphalt paving or parking lot, or if we just want to connect it somehow from edge to edge.
An angle. Just
At an
some
angle
sort
or
of
like a
way
curve
to
or
be able to
something.
Back a trailer in or put the trailers in.
Yeah, so that's something I guess we need to think about as well, is how y'all want to connect those two.
If we're doing that, we do want stanchions in front of doors. Pillars to keep from.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause
to
the bay
Councilmember
is-
Cox's point, if we were to expand the entire parking lot, that 6 feet, if we did that all the way out to this water well that's out there next to it now, we would have to worry about the setback from the easement.
Easement?
Or a building setback.
The easement, because
What
we're
is the easement for?
First page, or, I'm sorry, third page.
we're required to be a minimum of, I want to say 8 feet
So do you-
from the property line. And I'd have to look that up.
So
because
right
that's
away,
not my
is what you're
forte.
talking about for the road?
Hmm?
Right away for the road?
Not for the road, but between us and our neighbor.
In here and as.
We can't encroach on the easement, and then there's
As
a,
you drive out of that bay, you're right there.
I'm using the word easement, it might be the wrong word for what we're describing, but so our property line,
Mhm.
there's a minimum setback from the property line.
On,
If we were to expand the concrete parking lot 6 feet, the entire way out front. I don't think we probably need to do that, as long as we get some expert advice from folks like the ESD, where they're bringing the fire, if they wanted to park that fire truck in the farthest bay, what would be the optimum way for them to be able to get in there?
yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have.
Or
to-
anybody, but I'm thinking of a
Or something in there.
We will have to put something in here because if the,
Yeah, we need to add
Segment into
pavement
here.
to that plan.
this is.
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, that's included, should be included in the concrete, but
Are you talking
what
about
about
this
this? If
building?
the door is now open here, what,
We would need some sort of way.
how
to
much
get
additional slab or something?
And it doesn't show what that is. Where does it show?
The straight line.
No, I'm talking about the 10 feet you're talking about. Oh,
There's 16 feet from
There's
there to
six-
there.
roughly 6
Yeah.
foot.
This is.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't show.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah, past the asphalt or the parking lot, yes.
So they'd have to do something.
How about we'll be open to suggestion on the engineering or design side?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't look to be many feet
It
by any
doesn't.
means, but in the same aspect, if that slab is going to go over to that spot and then the drive out spot, you'll end up with inspection issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could probably see what the best curve is to get to this corner and maybe expand just part of that asphalt, just to make it, drivable for them
Right.
to back a trailer into that second bay, because that second bay is a little close to the edge, so we would have to, there's some more dimensioning that would have to do to actually see what needs to be
Easement is
done.
10 feet. That's
That's the state law.
something you just.
To Mr. McJunkins' comment earlier, they just won a design award. I bet that ESD will be willing to help us make sure that we do design that correctly if there's
Depends on the neighborhood.
experience they already have about that.
So that's
I don't
why.
mind to reach out.
Chief Meyer would be an excellent resource, Brandy Crown as well.
Quick.
My other house is the same way, it's kind of cockeyed like this, and we had to build it out to just perfectly to where we were not on that.
Access.
That's the only reason I
Yeah,
knew,
but there's houses built with 5-foot easements.
Okay.
back in the day.
Tight neighborhoods,
Yes.
so,
Okay, well, we'll get more information about the best way to include that design of.
I think we're all in agreement that obviously the alternative A is the way to go, as long as we're not impeding any kind of easement to get ourselves in a bind in the future, because we've got the grant money, so why not?
Great. Okay, well, so that we have good documentation about it, if we could have a motion
I'll make a motion
to go out to bid
to go out.
for option,
I'll second.
I'm not supposed to spoon feed that to you, but we're gonna go out to the first option that's all in, including the expansion of chambers and 2 bays, right? Okay. We have Justin, Kelly, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm pretty excited about it. I didn't know the numbers until tonight either, so pretty stoked. Just 2 quick comments. I'm not making a report, but I wanted to say thank you, Justin. He has been invested in going downtown and doing updated training for emergency operations for us. Tedious and
Lots of fun. A whole room of accountants going over what you can and can't do and how you have to document every dollar, or they will deny the whole thing during an event.
so thank you for doing that. That's 3 days off of your regular job, and we surely appreciate it.
No problem.
And thank you, Burns, for going over to visit everybody Saturday at the Keep Simonton Beautiful event.
were you there? I didn't see you.
I was there in the morning. I wasn't there by the time you came, but I heard you
didn't see
went,
you.
so thank you so much for doing that. And with that, we're ready to adjourn.
Can I ask one question
Sure,
of you guys?
sure.
I mean, this is a survey that you drew, huh?
Correct.
Right. Why why are we worried about the easement? In other words, why didn't you all know about that? If there's a problem here,
I should let you answer that, but I
No, I
asked
just wanna
for
know.
a change to consider drawing us the 2 bay, since it looked like it would fit.
Oh,
So-
I got you,
So
okay.
perhaps that hasn't been visited, because I asked for that last week.
yeah, okay.
If there's something
I
else-
run into this all the
I'm
time.
sorry for interrupting before you can answer.
Surveys.
Kim, bring a survey like this to, you get in big trouble.
And I mean, if you said it's 10 foot, we have a 16-foot difference
I don't
between
know the
that
answer.
and the 19-foot one, yeah,
Right.
so.
So we clearly, at the expansion, are not encroaching on the easement. I mean,
Now,
that
the
part
parking
is,
lot,
Yeah.
there's an
There's
additional
parking lot.
6
the
feet.
parking lot might be
The
that.
parking
one,
lot
of
thing,
course
we need to
would
look
have
closely
into
at, yeah, what that access
okay.
will look like to the bay
Good.
before we do it.
I just want to be
You're right.
sure, because that could be, like everybody said, that
Yes.
could be a major.
Right. Yeah, that one's on me, but we're still within, we're still legal on that.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. I have 7:07. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks very much.
Lori, are we having another meeting this month, or is?
Yes, we'll have our regular meeting on the
19th.
on Tuesday the 19th. And we should have a presentation about the
CPAC.
CPAC update. It's time for their update in the middle of the project. And it'll be really great for the folks that are watching or folks that are here to learn more about what all of this is, the recommendations, or now's the next phase that's going to happen. So that'll be part of that meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Y'all just need to
Thanks,
stay
Lori.
here.
Can we take these?
I don't know why you
Yes, you can, don't worry, you don't have to if you don't want to. If you don't want
We
to, I'll take them
will
back, but.
probably post them on the website too, but if you have a printed copy, you don't have to try to do that.
Is Craig sending you copies?
Right.
Craig sending
Do like
copies.
I was doing with
It was great.
technology.